Alright guys, so I'm back at it again working on this OMC lower unit. Now today I just wanted to explore on a couple of things. um, I'm still waiting for my O-rings and gaskets to come in. But what I wanted to do was, since I came from Harbor Freight yesterday, and so what I did was I bought some O-ring sets that they had on there. Now what I wanted to do was, since I have the unit out and I got a few O-rings already exposed outside, and I took them out already. These are the 3 O-rings that was for that right there. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to compare them with the O-rings that was on these sets that I got from Harbor Freight. I wanted to match them up and see if those 3 would have same size in one of these. Now this is the standard size, which I figured, since most of the bolts on this are standard sizes, I figured they would have used standard size O-rings too. So I bought that. But then again, I was thinking maybe there's some that's metric. So I bought this other set too, which is metric. And yeah, so I wanted to compare some of those O-rings and see if they match up. Now another thing that I did was, so I printed out the upper gear case diagram for this specific lower unit. And now, since this is the first time I'm going to be changing some of these O-rings, I wanted to have a diagram, and so I have a visual of what some of these O-rings and gaskets look like. So this is a diagram of the upper case right there, and then I also printed out the lower gear case. And so, since this is the first time I'm going to be working on replacing some of these O-rings, I wanted to have a visual of what some of those O-rings might look like. Now I don't really believe that an O-ring gear case set like this should cost $35 or $40. And another set that costs about the same, another $40 for just some O-rings. I don't believe they should cost that much. Now if it's some of the gaskets, since they're odd shape, made for the lower unit, can't really do anything about that. But as far as rubber O-rings, I mean, these should be common on any machinery. So I don't believe that they should be costing an arm and a leg, really, for some rubber O-rings. So I'm gonna go through my set and compare them. And so what I was gonna do too was, so these 2 came with the transom gasket set, and I believe these are the 2 that goes into the yoke shaft. So I have those already, and so I'm going to be putting those on in there, and then afterwards I'm going to check them off just to mark them to say, hey, I've already changed it. So those are just some of the things that I'm going to be doing today, just to make my life easier. Alright guys, that's it. Alright guys, so I was looking for a comparison for these two that goes into the yoke shaft, and I found that the standard 211 looked to be the exact comparison for the O-ring. Now it is a little bit thicker, if you guys can see that. It is a little bit thicker, but that's the closest one. And then I went and looked at the 211. This was a 211 from the metric, and that one looks to be a pretty good match too. Yeah, it looks to be a pretty good match too. You can feel it. It is just a little tad bit thicker. That would be another option that I would do. Probably use that for the yoke shaft, but these are brand new. So from the metric side, this is probably closest. I think the standard size was just a little thicker, a little bit more thicker than the metric one. Now I already took off the two that was right there, and these are the O-rings right here. These are the used ones. And so if I were to compare them with the brand new one, it looked like it's already been outstretched. You guys can see it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, it looked like the used one's already stretched out, so that's why it's bigger as far as diameter, but thickness wise of the rubber is the same. So these are the two used ones, and since I already had new ones for it, just kind of playing around just to make a comparison with the kit that I bought from Harbor Freight. But since I already have these, I'm going to be putting those on to the yoke shaft. Now hold on a second, guys. Alright, so let me slide these two on now, before I go and lose them. That's the first one. Here's the second one. There you go. Alright, so and so since I've already changed out the yoke one, I'm gonna go ahead and check this off. So both of them are done, and that's it. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, I was gonna go and check off the O-ring. Yeah, you know what? This diagram doesn't show it, but it's the O-ring that goes behind this hole right there, which is in here. I've already replaced that, but this diagram doesn't show it. It might be on another diagram, but I've already replaced it. So this is the used one that I pulled out from it. It does look like it's flattened out already, so I changed this. This came with the two. It came in a set. So the transom gasket, which is this one, those two O-rings, and then this one came in a set. So I've already put this in. Yeah, I won't be able to show you guys that, but yeah, I've already replaced that. I'm just gonna check it off maybe on the diagram here, or I can print out the I'll print out the other diagram for the transom. It should have it on there. Alright guys, that's it. Alright guys, so I tried comparing these are the original O-rings to these sets right here from Harbor Freight, and I told myself that if the O-ring is not an exact match, I wasn't gonna go and use it, but you know, it was just an idea for me to kind of just check out and compare on this set of O-rings here. But what I did find out though was this one was one of the 3 O-rings that was for that, and what I found out was he had a better match on this one right here in the metric sizes. So from this set, it's number 325, and that one had a better match, but I think it was a little skinnier. So here in the standard, this one in the standard would be actually the one that I would consider using, and this one was the 325 also in the standard. This one seemed like it was a little thicker. It was a little thicker, and you know, I guess for an O-ring, that would be better sealing if it was thicker. And you know, also this is a used one, so I figured there was already some wear on this old O-ring, so maybe that's why it's a little thinner. But definitely, if somebody was you know, in an emergency or in a bind, couldn't find the set that they need. And if I was desperate enough, I would use it. I think it'll do the same. I think it'll do the same job. And plus, you would know anyways if the fitment on this O-ring wasn't right, because you would have to slide in the housing. If you put on the bottom one, you would have to slide in the housing, and so it would have to go through this hole right here. So if you can't go through that hole because it was too thick, then you know you can't use it. So but if it goes in, hell, I'd use it. And then for those two on top, which is the same O-ring, and let's say you were to use the same one for those two, well, if it goes through in here and it fits, then hell, I would use it. Yeah, so you know, that's just if you guys were in a bind. Like I said, you know, desperate measures. Some of these parts are harder and harder to find, so you know, I would just use it if I was in that same situation. But like I said, I've already ordered my kit, so I'll just wait for the kit, and then I'll probably compare them with the brand new ones. But alright guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.